Spot that tune. Hey up, it's Guitar at Day again. So what have I got here? Well, although it might look for all the world like some sort of Paul Reed Smith, it is in fact a GIM. That's standing for Guitar Institute Malaysia, which is the brand which is produced by a luthier called Jeffrey Young. Now, Jeffrey Young is quite well known for producing high-end acoustic guitars, which he constructs from a variety of exotic woods. He also is not really known for this, but he sometimes supplies wood to the Fender Custom shop as well. So yeah, he's known for making really high-end acoustic guitars from things like sapele, Malaysian blackwood. Sometimes he uses even mango, rubber wood, all sorts of stuff. He also makes some very exotic bass guitars. But when I asked him quite a few years ago on a visit to his workshop why he didn't make electric guitars, he just said, you electric guitarists, you're just so boring. All you want is copies of Strats, Tellys, Les Pauls. You're not interested in anything really experimental. And he has a point. We're some of the most conservative people on the planet. And you've still got guys in their early 20s who are salivating over valve amps, for the love of God. But anyhow, he decided to test the waters back in about 2005, 2006, and he made a very short run of sort of mid-level electric guitars, and he had a couple of models out there. There was this one, which he called the PRS Student, and there was another one which was based more upon a Les Paul, although it didn't have a Gibson style headstock. This has got a sort of pseudo PRS headstock, although it didn't quite get the dimensions identical, as the strings don't straight pull as they would do on a PRS, they do fan out slightly. It's got the construction you'd expect. It's got mahogany body and neck. The neck is set maple top. They'd probably call this a 2A top. It is quite flamey. You can't really see it from the distance I'm at, so if I come in, try and catch that on the camera, it's not easy. And you can see the GIM logo, which is faded a little bit on the headstock here. The machine heads are probably Goto. Pickups were wound by Jeffrey himself, and pretty standard stop bar and tailpiece. One volume, one tone, and a three-way pickup selector, no coil taps, nothing fancy. So it's a meat and potatoes rock guitar. I actually bought this from a place called the Acoustic Shack, which is run by a guy called Mark Tan, who's been my guitar pusher on several occasions, and in fact the next guitar coming up is one that I bought directly from Mark himself. Yeah, I bought this from a place called Acoustic Shack, where I've been invited to go and attend a product launch one Saturday afternoon, and yeah, he had some of these, some of the Les Pauls that GIM were making at the time, and as they were 2,500 ringgit, I decided to support a local manufacturer and pick one up. And I've gigged it quite a bit over the years, as you can probably tell by the amount of wear on the metalwork, and it's stood up pretty well to the hammer it's got. I remember playing it on one particular gig in a place that's long gone in the middle of KL that was called The Wall. And one of the guys at the bar came up to me after one of the sets and said, "Oh man, where do you buy the PRS from?" I said, "It's not. Gitar ni buatan Pandaninda lah." Which means this guitar was made in Pandaninda. Okay, so what does it sound like? Well, I'll put it on the clean channel, start with a neck pickup. Both pickups. And the bridge pickup. So you can hear those are quite beefy humbuckers there, and as usual I'm using my Laney IRT Studio. So that was the clean channel. What about the crunch sounds? Well, again I'll start at the neck pickup. pickups there, and the bridge pickup. Now I must stress that as I'm doing these demos, I'm keeping the amp settings on this IRT Studio amp identical for all the different guitars, so you can hear the variation. So I hope you can hear that this has probably got the highest output pickups of any of the guitars that I've demoed to date. I remember the day I bought this guitar, I actually was going straight to a rehearsal afterwards with the band I was in at the time. And I walked in with this thing, plugged it into my amp and started playing. And I remember the bass player remarking, "That thing just wants to rock." It really is a blunt instrument, is this thing. Alright, so there we have it. A GIM, Guitar Institute Malaysia, PRS student. Cheers.